I got out of high school in '88. I got out of Cornell in '92.
So going back to these parties, you were talking about what's being played because Cornell, that's Ithaca, right?
We're in Ithaca, New York. Yes.
Very, it's very eclectic.
Super eclectic.
Ivy
Big
League,
reggae town.
right? Oh, I didn't know that.
Cornell is an Ivy League school.
Hmm.
You got Ithaca College on the other hill.
Hmm.
You have the whole, we're in the Finger Lakes region, which is an enormous Native American territory in New York. Think about it, Syracuse, Cayuga, Ithaca, all those names are native tribal names.
Facts.
So you have that dynamic kind of laying over top of everything. And, Cornell's 25,000 students, Ithaca's what, 5 to 8,000 students. So it's a true college town on top of all this intellectual capacity and history there.
So with all that being said, walking into one of y'all's events, what are you hearing? What are some of the artists, some of the songs of those years that you were there that you remember?
You're hearing every single golden era rap record. You're hearing every single golden era R&B record. And when I say golden era R&B record, I mean your Kenny Burke, Rising to the Tops,
Mm.
your Melissa Morgan, Fool's Paradise, uh, One of Them Nights You Feel Like Getting Down, Billy Ocean, the quintessential black dance sound was happening. You had rap records because now rap records have legs in the marketplace, but you also have this heavy R&B and soul sensibility from us Americans because we grew up in an era where we were dancing to the same records as our parents.
Mm.
And then here comes a couple of African cats that are tied to us, and they bring in that whole dynamic.
Mm.
And of course, it goes without saying, a black party without reggae is not a full-blown party. So we had the full melting pot of taste going on. And because of being sensitive to where we were,
Hmm.
we would slide the fly rock records in there too,
Gotcha.
and fly breaks and all that, because there was kids up there trying to get an education, but there's a lot of b-boys, a lot of b-girls, a lot of cats that come from b-boy, b-girl environments. So, very heavy New York influence on the way we presented our music.
So you leave, or not leave, you graduate from Cornell,
Mm.
and then straight into the workforce, or basketball was also still going on at that time, right?
When I graduated, I turned down 10 job offers to go to an open tryout for the United States Basketball League.
Mm.
And I ended up making the taxi squad. Taxi squad meaning like a reserve team of a team that, funny enough, played their home games in my high school gym, the New Jersey Jammers. My high school coach, John Richardson, was the head assistant, and his high school coach, Bob Nastis, was the head coach of the team. So I left Lakewood to go to Cornell to play, and I ended up coming back to Lakewood to play a season of semi-pro basketball.
Full circle.
And this is the USBL, so this is like the dinosaur phases of what's now known as the development league.
Right. So you end up playing on the taxi squad. Uh, from there, you bounce around to different minor league squads, or
From there, I worked my way into the opportunity to actually play in that
okay.
first season. And at the end of the season, I got traded to a team called the Jacksonville Hooters. And I played one game for them. And after that, it was time to go to other camps because the season was over. It was just like a summer-long
Right.
season, like a summer league, if you will, but it was semi-pro.
Hmm.
The money was trash, but it was something.
Hmm.
And the competition was super high because everybody that was there wanted to be in the league. So, the competition level was through the roof because
No
there was a
doubt.
whole bunch of bubble guys some guys that maybe got drafted and didn't pan out, guys that never got drafted that have NBA ability, and aspiring guys like myself. So the comp level was stupid high.
Gotcha. So competing in semi-pro, I understand you had an injury that kind of derailed some things.
I had a bad injury with my right shoulder. It was
Okay.
basically just tore my rotator cuff up. It's what's called an impingement syndrome.
Okay.
Wasn't life threatening or the biggest injury in the world, but it was pretty significant. It was like a year rehab at the
Right.
time. This is 92, so medicine was what it was. But, now the rehab for that same injury is probably 6 months,
Right.
maybe less. And my high school coach, my college coach, a bunch of other men that my mom had around me, they were all in unison, like, we believe in you. We think you're a talented athlete. We think in 3, 4, maybe 5 years, you could get to the league, but you're not going to make no money while you're doing it. So we made some phone calls, and the companies that you turned down, 5 of them reopened the offer. And if you want to move your moms out of that place that we visited you in high school, this is going to be the route to do it. And that's how I ended up in Philly.
What jobs were these?
I interviewed with Pfizer, Merck, Johnson and Johnson, Lilly, Kaiser Permanente, Aldi, Procter and Gamble, and I ended up taking a sales and marketing job with Procter and Gamble in Philadelphia. I worked there for a year, maybe a little better than a year. Put my resume into a headhunter, and I left there and went to work for Abbott Laboratories. Doing at Procter, I was doing health and beauty care retail products.
Right.
When I went to to Abbott, I was doing an antibiotic called Biaxin and an antihypertensive called Hytrin.
This is all in Philly.
Yeah,
So after work, you clock out. Are you still in tune with the DJing side of things? Are you in the scene like that? After
yeah,
work.
yeah. When I moved to Philadelphia, before I put any furniture in my apartment, I went home and got all my records and my turntables, and I bought a bed, and I was just practicing because I just went from playing semi-pro ball to driving a piece of shit company car,
Right.
answering to a guy that I actually believe I'm smarter than.
Right.
So I was super depressed. I went through a really bad depression leaving basketball. And the first thing I went back to was my music. So after work, you could catch me at Funko Mart or Armand's Records or Philly International hanging out with Victor
Mm.
Duplay and James Poyser, or Jazzy Jeff Studio at 444 hanging out with those guys, or playing ball with Cash Money. I had already developed my relationships with the DJ community in Philadelphia to the degree that I was chasing them.